Nobody seemed to know where John called home. He just drifted into town and stayed all alone. He didn't say much, kinda quiet and shy, and if you spoke at all, you just said hi to Big John. Big John, Big John, Big John. Yes, great song that. You can call it a song. It's mostly spoken, but there is singing in it. Yes, so song. Well, it is a beautiful day. I've just come in for a drink. It's 1:10, and I've just been throwing some muck around, digging maybe you could call it. Phew, I think it's a little too hot to dig. Really, I think I'll just saw some wood or do something else because it's really it's quite overwhelming for me, fair-skinned people and like me. So it is Sunday, the 10th of June. Wow, June's flying by. And last night I watched Del and Gav, and in their well, in the ring with Gimp Panda and Red's retarded rhetoric. So that normally I avoid things like that, like the plague, if you can avoid the plague, and many people tried and failed, possibly. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for showing us it. It was worthwhile. I got something from it actually. But how these people can live with themselves, I don't know. I really don't know. They're either being paid, which I think they are, to stop this truth getting out. Because I think if they weren't there, if they weren't put in place, then people would cotton onto it much easier, because they use all sorts of sophism and mind control techniques which are used on all of us if you watch television, listen to the radio, etc., to keep us just where they want us, in ignorance, really. And if these people weren't in place, then the realization would sweep across the earth. That's what I think. Much quicker anyway, much quicker. People would, yes, have the Stockholm syndrome, and there are people, I think, genuine people, who simply argue because they have that. The programming is very strong with them, so they try and defend the bullshit. Fair dues. But once you realise the evidence and the proof, then you can't deny it. And Red's retarded mind or rhetoric or whatever, and Gimp Panda both are reality deniers. I've said before that I cook. Well, I cook and boil my kettle with gas on a gas ring, and I have a cylinder of butane. And say it's half full, my butane cylinder. You can hear the liquid gas sloshing around in it, and there's a gaseous gas at the top. And why? Well, it's obvious. It's density. The lower you go, the denser you get, because of the amount of material mass on the top. So that's like our pressurized system, just the same. And to think that it could possibly be on a spinning ball, it just it blows my mind to think that people still believe in this bullshit. Now this represents the Earth, shall we say. This green and white marble. It's supposed to be a blue marble. But on this Earth, there is 70-odd% water covering the surface of it, and then covering the entire surface is, this is all bullshit, by the way, there is supposedly air. Now, never mind the fact that it's supposed to be doing around about 1.5 million miles an hour through the vacuum of space, spinning in 4 different directions, and we can't feel it, of course. Never mind that taking, just how can anything be clinging to it at that speed? I have no idea. But never mind that, just imagine the vacuum of space around the ball. Now there isn't any example of what I'm describing that we can say, yeah, that must be it then, because it's bullshit. That's why there's no example of it. It's complete nonsense. And if you're defending that, you're either truly an idiot or you are being paid. If you know, and Gav and Dal made it very clear why it's bullshit, but if you still defend it, it's either, well, it could be a massive ego that you can't publicly deny your own knowledge. It could be that, but I think it's most likely to be that these people are put in place and being paid to try and retard the information, the truth getting out. That's what I think. I don't think it could just be Stockholm syndrome, the supporting of the facts when they're not facts, supporting this story, this fantasy, this fairy tale. That's all it is. So why these people do it is, it can only be really two things, can't it? They're being paid to do it, or they're morons. You take your choice. So without any practical example of their pressure system next to a vacuum, they deny reality, and that makes them, well, stupid. It makes them invalid. You can't argue, debate, discuss anything with somebody who denies reality. That's it's a waste of time. I think I would have just pulled the plug and fucked off, because I have no time for people like that. People who, well, they cannot, their minds are not in the same realm as people who can see through the bullshit. Anyway, there you go. It's very sad, really, that these people are in place, but you can see why they are, because an awful lot of money is made out of the space industry, with not just fake rockets and satellites and the fake station, for fuck's sake, which all of those things are you know, the meaning of the word, the correct meaning of the word, incredible, nonsensical, farcical. Now, for a rocket to take off like that and then land like that again, if you think that's real, you're in the same league of these as Red's retarded rhetoric and gimp pander, because I'm sure, well, I'm not sure they believe it actually, because they're being paid, they probably don't believe it. But if they do believe it, oh dear, then that's, I think that's even worse, really, because their minds are so fucked up that they believe that a rocket can land back on its base without any flights, like a feather, you know, feathers on an arrow, or flights on a dart, which are there to stabilize. And for my money, you'd need the flights on the pointy end if they're coming down like this, because that stops the inevitable waggle. What's stopping it doing this? Fucking nothing. That means it's bullshit. And if you notice, when they actually land these rockets, they don't set the tarmac on fire. They don't. There's no scorch marks, and they light the rocket at the last moment, and where they'd already be going far too fast, and they would just smash into smithereens. So they think that's real. I mean, Red's retarded rhetoric supposedly filmed a rocket going into the sky. Big fucking deal. You know, Whitby Regatta, you can go and film hundreds of rockets going into the sky. Doesn't mean shit. And I haven't seen any of those rockets at the regatta. I actually don't go anymore, you know. But as a child, I didn't see any of them landing back down like that on their base. Funny that, isn't it? They all went into the sea. Oh, then I wonder where they got that idea from. Oh, I can't say I enjoyed I'm not going to call it a debate. The argument, the confrontation. I can't say I enjoyed it. Really, I was, you know, cringing, and I just wanted to rip their heads off. I mean, gimp pander and Red's retarded rhetoric. I wanted to. I'm not a violent man. I'm not. But I hate stupidity. It's not, when it's displayed like that. It's the truth was tried to be communicated. You know, the truth was offered. It was ignored. They didn't even want to listen to it. They spoke over the top of the truth. They deliberately led you down alleys of bullshit. They deliberately spoke out of turn. They were very disingenuous, of course. They were shit hosts. When people go to Beyond the Imaginary Curve, Globers, go there, they're given the well, they do exactly the same thing, actually. They speak over the top of the truth, and then they're silenced because it's just bad behaviour. They don't know any manners, and manners are very important for communication. So anyway, well done, lads. Gav and Del, well done. And that's it. My time's up. See you later.